So basically, you are just you're just plugging in 200 this number into wherever you see this because these two are the same. So you have 200 degrees Celsius and x degrees Fahrenheit, we'll just call it. So in order to solve this, you would plug in 200 wherever you see this C because that's the same unit, I guess, since this is just the like formula you're using to convert Celsius into Fahrenheit here. So you'd also plug in whatever you need for F here, Fahrenheit, but since you don't know what it is, you just leave it as X because that's the thing you're trying to solve for. So if we rewrite this formula with these numbers you're given in the problem, you would end up with X equals 9/5 times 200. The parentheses just means times, and then plus 30. So I'm just gonna make this, draw these two lines here just to make it easier to understand that this is like the equal sign. And so for now, to solve for whatever this is, first we should what can we do to solve for what x is, given that it's equal to this big thing? So have you learned PEMDAS yet?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so PEMDAS means, let me just write this out.
Parentheses, exponents,
Yeah.
multiplication, division, subtraction.
So first we would check if we want to simplify this whole thing down into just one number, then first we would look for parentheses, and we have them, but on the inside, there's just one number, so we don't need to do anything with that yet. Exponents, we don't have any, and you probably won't even need to know these until later on. Multiplication. So here we have multiplication, right?
Yeah.
So what's 9 over 5 times 200? Yeah. So 360 would be right. Are you confused by that? Why did you put so many question marks?
I don't know, because I thought I was gonna be wrong.
Oh no, it's fine. That's what the answer is. So 360
And then
plus,
add 32.
yeah, and you add that from the bottom. And you just bring down the x normally since you didn't do anything to that. So then you just add these two.
392.
What? Sorry, what'd you say?
392 is
392. Yeah. So that means, in the context of your problem here, sorry, this is getting really messy, but that basically just means that 200 degrees Celsius is equal to 392 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah. Okay, so how do you think we should plug in? How do you think we should, what's our next step from here?
this.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So I'm just gonna write that on the board.
So like the numbers are always gonna be like the same with the 32 and 9 over 5.
Yeah, the numbers here are just going to be the same. Or instead of a question mark, you could write X because that's what we would usually use in math. But just know that X just means like what we're solving for, and the variable or the question mark.
I
Basically.
prefer Z, so.
Yeah, that could work too. It's whatever you prefer.
Okay. And
Okay.
do the PEMDAS thing.
Do you know the rule of whatever we do to one side, we do to the other? That kind of deal.
I think I heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, sorry, when I was in 6th grade, I'm just gonna do it the way my teacher taught me. She basically drew this thing she called the equal sign highway, which sounds kind of dumb, but basically following the rule, whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. You're basically trying to get Z all by itself here.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that in 5th grade.
Yeah. So basically, since z has 9/5 attached to it and then the 32 attached to it, you're basically trying to remove those and like get rid of those so you can get z all by itself so you know what z is equal to. So if we want to get rid of this 32, what should we do to get rid of a plus 32?
Subtract 32? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So if you could, you would write down here minus 32, and on the other side, minus 32, because whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other.
I think I've done this before. It's just that I always get confused like where I'm supposed to like subtract and like stuff.
Yeah, but as long as you do to one side the same thing you do to the other, honestly, you can't really, you won't really mess up as long as you just keep that rule.
Okay, so technically it's gonna be 100 equals 9/5z.
Yeah. So 9/5 is a fraction, but oh, sorry, I'll let you write that down. Did you get all that? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I got it.
9/5 here is a fraction. So if you want to get rid of that, it's basically 9 divided by 5, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to take this one step at a time, how do we get rid of the divided by 5 part? What's the opposite of division?
Multiply.
Yeah, so if we want to get rid of divided by 5 on the bottom here, then what should we do?
Multiply 5.
Yeah, so you multiply by 5 on both sides. And then what would you end up with?
500 equals 9z.
Yeah. So you're almost done here.
Subtract 9, I think.
Well, how is 9 connected to z? Is it 9 plus z or 9 multiplied by z, 9 divided by z?
Never mind then.
All right, sorry. So here 9 is connected to z using, what's it connected to z by?
Multiplication.
Yeah. So whenever a number is next to a letter or a variable, it's usually connected by multiplication. A tiny multiplication.
So divide.
Yeah, so you divide by 9 on both sides. And then since you have 9/9, you can just cross that out. Z by itself equals whatever 500/9 is. And you can just put that in your calculator or divide it yourself.
I got a decimal for 500 divided by 9.
Yeah, it should be a decimal. It's like a really long one, right?
55.5555556. Something like that.
Whenever this, yeah, you could do that, or whenever there's a number with a decimal that's repeating over and over, you can just draw a line over the part that's repeating. But yeah, this will be your final answer.